What's going on, you guys? It's AskCab bringing you guys another video, and in today's video I got a little bit of a yap sesh for you guys. I'm going to be basically just be breaking down a couple different things I've been thinking over the past couple days where I haven't really uploaded anything, or just where I'm at in terms of making new content. To get into things, I want to just first go ahead and jump off into the fact that I'm not, by any means in any way, shape, or form at any point in time in this video trying to throw shade at any of my audience or the viewers or anything that people coming to the channel to check out my stuff. I'm specifically just trying to learn where I'm going wrong, where I'm, doing things that are pushing people away, like where am I not hooking people essentially. So I'm going to be bringing up, views, comments, likes, engagement, that sort of thing. So again, don't think I'm throwing shade at anybody not watching my videos all the way through, disliking my video, not leaving comments. That's not how I'm trying to come across. I'm just trying to, again, learn where I can improve, get some feedback, and really move forward with some new content here. So I did want to point this out real quick, just because I have obviously changed the background, which I'm sure you guys have seen now at this point. But this is like my top 3 favorite games that are either shut down or just like people don't really like that much, or just don't get the respect they deserve, I guess. I've obviously done World War II. I've just covered Hyperscape stuff, which I can't really go any further into without getting my own sort of footage, which we can't really do until this whole Hyperscape revival thing actually pans out, if it's going to. The thing I wanted to bring this up for is because I actually haven't played Evolve on the channel yet. So I do have the ability to play this on either PC or console, because I have a disc copy for console, and I also have it downloaded on Steam on PC. So we could do either or there and really just give you guys a general gist of what this game felt like, what it had to offer. And this game was very niche in the sense of it was a 4v1 monster versus hunter game, and obviously that's not going to be for everybody. I had that same thing to say about, Steel Hunters, and that's literally why this game is dead now too, hence why you only see me do one video 4 months ago. But yeah, if my PC would have been better quality for, making content in this sort of way, then I definitely would have been making hella content on this game, because I was loving this game, to be honest. But yeah, this game was very niche in that same way that Evolve was, because not everybody's going to want to play, again, a 4v1 monster versus hunter game. Not everybody's going to want to play a freaking a mech shooter game. So both of these games were kind of doomed to fail in one way or another. I can't really cover this one because this one was pretty much specifically online, and you had to, basically have it downloaded. I since have it deleted. I don't even know if it would let me download it or get past like a start screen, kind of like Hyperscape now at this point. I do want to go ahead and maybe go into Evolve a little bit, but the other options I want to go ahead and throw out there for you guys, and keep in mind, I'm always open to recommendations and that sort of thing. I would like to potentially get into either Apex Legends, Marathon, the Finals, which I don't have downloaded right now, but we were kind of talking about it the other day while we were getting into the Hyperscape stuff and kind of ending off that whole series. We were kind of talking about the Finals a little bit and kind of doing a little bit of comparison there. And one of my friends is actually like super into this game, so I would always have somebody to play this with pretty much. Like if we wanted to make content and, be doing it with somebody, I would pretty much always have somebody to play with, just because he likes this game way more than I do. And I actually got him into the game, but there's something about it that just feels like a worse version of Hyperscape to me. And you can say whatever you want about that, considering, Hyperscape is dead and the Finals is still going, has, 10 plus seasons at this point. Hyperscape got 3 seasons and died. You can say whatever you want for your opinion. Hyperscape was better. I don't care. Anyways, so we got Evolve, Marathon, Apex. I could potentially go back to the World War II stuff. And this is where I was talking about, like, don't think I'm throwing shade at my audience or the viewers or anything like that. But the whole reason I stopped doing the World War II stuff in the first place was because the first time around when I started the channel, obviously, I had that, like, big drive to get an audience around World War II zombies and get people back hunting the game, getting people playing the game, and really trying to get people to have that same perspective I had on it. And not necessarily trying to, like, echo chamber anybody, but, like, essentially just share some of my love, and hopefully that rubs off on somebody and some of the in the right way for somebody is what I'm trying to get at there. Holy shit. Anyways, the first time around, I was doing the Final Reich, completely covered the Final Reich, got, plenty of engagement there, plenty of, views, likes, comments, and I've never really been worried about, the like to dislike ratio, never really bothered with that. I'm always more so worried about, views and particularly comments, because comments to me show you guys are engaged with the video in one way or another, whether that's asking a question or whether you guys are just straight up stating something that you guys thought during the video, or it made you guys think of something, just whatever. That second time around, when I was going to, DLC 4 with the Frozen Dawn and doing that whole thing with World War II, I really just wasn't getting the engagement. I wasn't getting, likes or dislikes. I wasn't getting comments. I wasn't really getting too many views. And in fact, the one video that did actually get, 60 plus views at this point was the video I didn't really think people would even care about, like, ironically. So the fact that, the videos that I don't even think will do well technically do well, and then the ones that I think people would be interested in don't really do that well, it's discouraging in some sense. Like, obviously it's kind of cool to see like things like let me go back to the other screen real quick. It's kind of cool to see things like, back down here with the Final Reich, it's cool to see things like this with the sword guide. This has like 3.7 views, and this is one of those videos that I was like, all right, people are gonna know how to do this, nobody's gonna want to watch this anyways. But it's like literally my most viewed video on the channel, like hands down. 3.7 is my highest view. This, I think, is my second, and this is just like how the keepsakes and Enigma machines worked. And then, we did how they're linked, and that kind of worked as well. But yeah, other than that, like, if you go back up here to like the Frozen Dawn stuff, this video where it was literally just like map orientation, learning the layout, learning the locations, that sort of thing, that did way better than any of the guides that I put out so far on the map. So it just, like, for that reason, I was just like, all right, let's do some other stuff. Let's go do some Hyperscape stuff. We'll see if we can pull in the Hyperscape audience. And, obviously there's people out there that still love that game, and I know they're freaking out there. So it's just like a matter of time, or maybe I need to go put some different tags on my videos or something in order to get people here. But yeah, man, I can't wait for Hyperscape to come back. I will keep saying that. We kind of jumped into all of our options here, but yeah, I've been kind of thinking about Evolve, where I haven't covered that out of, my 3 favorite games here on the channel that I kind of used for that banner. Evolve, Hyperscape, World War II. I've done World War II and Hyperscape. Might as well do Evolve. We've also been talking about Apex, Marathon, the finals. I don't know if I got into the whole grounded thing yet, but me and my buddies were wanting to get back into our grounded world, and I figured, might as well be making some content out of that, because we always have some funny ass moments on that shit every single time we come back. So might as well be playing that. Finish that game up, and then I've never played Grounded 2, so I was thinking about getting into that and making some content there. I think that would be really interesting. And then, obviously me and my buddies could all get into that as well right there at the same time. You guys could see that world, start to finish sort of thing. Yeah, really, I mean, other than that, I was thinking about going back to World War II maybe. That's really all I have in mind right now in terms of like my 5 or 6 games that I've really been like considering in terms of making content. In terms of like what I've been playing personally, just off recording, I've really been in between Apex and Marathon, like constantly just back and forth. Like, I'll play maybe an hour or 2 of Apex, get pissed off because I've been grinding ranked with randoms and we're not getting fucking anywhere. So I'll just be like, all right, time to switch it up, time to go back over to Marathon, see if I can figure this out a little bit more. Because I've never really been into extraction shooters. I've really been trying to get into Marathon. Man, Arc Raiders had a little bit of a hold on me for a while. And I mean that in the sense of like literally up until the Christmas event with the Candleberries that came out last year. Like pretty much like right after the game came out. It was like one of the first events in the game. That Candleberries event was like the last event I ever played. And as soon as that event ended, I never touched the game again. So I'm hoping Marathon doesn't end up doing that same thing to me where it's like I really try to get into it. I start to get into it. And then for whatever reason, one reason or another, I just fall off and I don't care anymore. And I think a big thing is like the whole extraction shooter thing to me. It genuinely feels like extraction shooters feel like a BR, except you get to keep your loot at the end of it if you win. Like, and you can extract anytime you want rather than needing to eliminate the whole lobby. And then you can also load back in with a loadout almost as if it's Warzone. Like, That's all an extraction shooter feels like to me, if we're being entirely honest, except now we're getting overly complicated with these extra little bullshit like loot items that I don't need to care about. And yeah, so I struggled to get into Arc Raiders, if you couldn't tell. Marathon, where it's a little bit more close to, like, I'd say it's a good mix of Apex, Halo, and Destiny, if I really had to try to place it. There's obviously some like Cyberpunk 2077 vibes in there a little bit, but other than that, it really feels like a good mix of, Halo and Apex to me. So I feel like I could really get into it for that reason. I'm gonna try to get into it. um I've never been the best at shooters, hence why you don't see me make a whole lot of like multiplayer content with like Call of Duty or things like that, because I'm not getting crazy high kill games. I get maybe like a solid, 1 KD every freaking round. And that's pushing it sometimes. Like I might even go negative a majority of the time. So like I'm not by any means trying to push out multiplayer content and just die left and right the entire fucking time. It's not like I'm doing special edits that I can, make that sort of thing funny or anything like that. I'm literally just sitting there dying on repeat, more than likely getting mad. So it's like, why would I put myself or you guys through that in terms of content? It just feels useless to me. So I just want to say, keep that in mind when we jump into something like Marathon, which is like also, like I was saying with Arc Raiders, kind of the reason I didn't like it. I'm not a super precise shooter when it comes to shooter games, because in extraction shooters where the whole goal is to try to get as much loot as you can, best loot as you can, extract, it feels like a lot of the time I'm losing all my shit is essentially what I'm trying to get at here in short. And I really want to get into Marathon. I definitely have been getting into some more engagements where I feel a little bit more comfortable with the game, and I could definitely take out, players here and there a little bit more comfortably than something like Apex or Arc Raiders even. Because damn, I'll tell you what, third-person games and being able to like corner peek and shit without actually showing your body, shit pisses me off, dude. Shit pisses me off. Arc Raiders, Fortnite, bro, those games, terrible for that shit. Hate the whole corner peeking thing, and that's the reason I definitely do prefer like a first person shooter. So again, I think that's another reason I could be getting into something like Marathon. And then on top of that, like growing up, I was so into the Halo games. Like I'm talking like Halo Combat Evolved. Everybody praises Halo 2 and 3. I'm not going to say they were bad by any means. I would never say that, because honestly they were great games. They just personally, in terms of Halo, they were not in my top tier list. They were like, for me, it was personally like probably 1 just because I played that one first, and like, you got to give the first game you ever played some sort of praise. And then, Halo Reach because of the armory system and how the whole credit system worked there. And then Halo 4 for sure. Like Halo 4, everybody hated on Halo 4, dude, because of 343 and blah, 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 they ruined it. Nah, dude, Halo 4 was fucking peak, bro. I was so good at Halo 4, bro. I wish that I would have started my channel back during the BO2 days and the Halo 4 days, man, because I was making hella content. I could have been getting hella clips, bro. Holy shit. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end off the video there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Xbox is dimming out because I'm fucking yapping like I was saying. So I'm going to end off the video. Like I said, I kind of gave you guys a solid 5 or 6 options. We're talking, Evolve, Grounded, the Finals, Marathon, Apex, and potentially World War II if you guys really want to see me go back to that. Other than that, those are kind of like where I'm at personally in terms of like my 5, like just off the top of my head, ideas in terms of content for games. Other than that, you guys can make your own recommendations, and if you guys would rather see something that you think is more poppin' right now, you guys think that could be drawing more attention into the channel, then I would absolutely be willing to give it a shot. Sorry for ranting or going on this long ass tangent, but yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and end off the video. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.